Welcome in, Digibyte community. I am the CryptoBULLGod, and in today's video, we're going to discuss both the explosive price action we've recently seen in Digibyte, as well as why this explosive price environment that has currently been taking place within Digibyte is setting us up for something monumental in the several months ahead. If you appreciate the content, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment. You also need to click the bell icon for all notifications to know when timely Digibyte videos like this come out, as well as to catch my daily TA live stream. It's called On the Charts. You can find me on Twitter, or X as it's now called, YouTube, Instagram, and TradingView. It's one word, CryptoBULLGod. Just a quick disclosure that I'm never providing financial advice. I'm simply looking to educate and to help you through sound, logical, technical analysis. We are all big boys and we are all big girls, so we can make our own personal financial decisions. With that being said, let's get into it. All right, guys, we're going to get into three charts. We're going to look at the USD pairing, technically the USD pairing on OKX, and then we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin pairing on two different views. So what we need to understand about Digibyte, and I've shared this in other videos as well as the content that I produce in that daily live stream, all in the charts, is Digibyte, the price action that we tend to see in this chart really is reminiscent of the type of price expansion that we see in Doge. It very much reminds me of that. And what I mean by that is, with this asset, you get a very long period of consolidation prior to getting a breakout, right? Now, all of the price data that is available for Digibyte, this is a project that's been around for a long time. Unfortunately, the longest standing exchange is no longer around, which is Bittrex, so I can't pull up all of the price history here, but I can show you most of the price history. So for most of the price history that's listed here, what we denote is a long period of consolidation before a very sharp movement up in price, and then a huge correction down in price and further consolidation, okay? Now, the reason I'm getting so excited about the price in Digibyte and where things I believe are headed is really twofold. One, where I believe the market is at, but two, what I'm seeing in price right now. So what you need to understand is, if you take a step back, we've been under this price area right here, under 1.35 cents for nearly 2 years, guys. Nearly 2 years, since May of 2022. We just broke out above there, okay? So now we've broken out above a key area of resistance, which is approximately 1.34 cents, okay? Now, the confirming candlestick, and we can put all of these to green, because what you want to see when you get a weekly candlestick come above an area of resistance, it's the preceding candlestick that is your confirmation candlestick to tell you if you can flip red to green. So all of these are now green lines, which is beautiful. We haven't been able to do that in 2 years, okay? The next major area of resistance we can see is 1.75 cents. Now, there are some other areas of price confluence I could draw in here at 2 cents, but I believe once we clear 1.75 cents, I think we're going to see a very swift movement to this 3 to 4.5 cent area, okay? And there's not a lot of price confluence, as you can see, above that price area. But I believe with what is going on right now, we're getting this rounding bottom. We're going to be up here in no time and consolidate with further continued price action to the upside. Now, one of the things you might be asking me, because I have not hit on this yet, again, this is a weekly view, CBG, what in the hell are all these other lines that you have depicted here, and why is there a purple circle? It's the first thing that appeared to me when you showed the chart, and yet you have not spoken to that. So let's get into that. This is the Williams alligator. Now, this is a technical indicator that I've typically shown on Bitcoin's chart. But again, just trying to expand different price indicators to different charts and trying to come up with various views to view Digibyte that I have not seen other technical analysts do. And so what you want to see from the Williams alligator, you want to see the green above the red, above the blue. Think of it this way. When you have the green above the red, above the blue, and the wider it is, it expresses momentum. It expresses that your trend and the momentum is moving to the upside. When you have it in reverse order and you have the blue, red, green, you can see we're in a downtrend, right? We're in a downtrend here. But we flipped positive for the first time in a long time since back here in 2020, guys. This is why I'm so bullish. We have not seen a positive flip on the Williams Alligator since March. Was it March or April? Technically, it would have been May of 2020. So 4 years ago, guys, 4 years. And the last time we had this flip from bearish to bullish, you can see we had a huge momentum shift up in price, stabilization, a huge momentum rise in price, and then a blow off top, right? Continued stair steps into a parabola. We're seeing the same thing right now, guys. Now, I can't tell you with certainty what's going to happen in the charts, as I always say. What I am going to do is I'm going to rely on the historical data to point me in the right direction. So, number one, we've cleared historical resistance that we've been under for 2 years. Point number two, a historical price indicator has flipped bullish for the first time in 4 years. The last time it flipped bullish, we had our blow off top in a matter of a few months, okay? Several months. Point number three, let's go to these other price indicators down here. Something else I'd like to point out to you is the ADX and DI indicators that I've hit on Bitcoin several times. You guys got to click the bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live for that daily live stream all in the charts. I'm not going to regurgitate the same thing I regurgitate on that live stream, but you should know if you watch my content, the green and the red are where they need to be. Okay, green is above the 20 trigger line, red is below the 20 trigger line. And you have the ADX, which is your orange line. I always confuse the two. ADX, yes, the ADX is the orange line. You have that flipped positive above your 20 trigger line. And again, this spells momentum in the market. Typically, when we have seen these in the past, you can see a significant movement up in price. The other reason I'm getting very bullish on price, look at the MACD. It's been a long time since we've seen a positive MACD flip on the weekly on Digibyte. And the last point I would like to make, which is very important, this is a very important point, okay? RSI, or your relative strength index, is a measure, well, it's a measure of strength. It's a measure of momentum and price. What has happened every time we have flipped 70 from resistance into support on the weekly RSI? You guys tell me. Actually, what you could do for me if you have children, bring your 4-year-old child into the room right now to watch this video, and I have a question for them. Young boy or young girl, when this purple line, you see the purple line right here? When it's above the dotted line, okay, and I don't think I'm colorblind. I don't think it's blue, it's purple. When this purple line is above the dotted line right here, you see this dotted line right here? When this line here goes above the dotted line, okay, which is 70, let's examine what has happened in price. You tell me, okay? We're above 70 here. What happened to price? What happened to these candlesticks? Look like they moved up, right? When we're above 70 here, didn't we move up in price? Okay. Well, we've been below the 70 RSI since May of 2021, guys, 3 years. We've since moved above it. Now, I'm not telling you that just because the relative strength index is above 70, this is what's going to happen in price. You guys are missing the point. What the point of what I'm trying to tell you is, I've just pointed to what, 5 things? All 5 things, the MACD, the ADX and DI, which are technically 2 things, so that's 3. 4 is the RSI, 5 is the Williams Alligator, and 6 is where price is at. All of these things, when they've historically been flashing in the chart bullish, and you guys know, especially when these things happen on a higher time frame, it's more of a credible view in terms of what you can ascertain from price action. When all of these things have flashed bullish on the chart, we have seen a blow-off euphoric top in Digibyte within a matter of several months. I mean, when this happened back here, you can see, I mean, it took from May to, so technically it took a year, right? So there's no reason this couldn't take a year from present day. And again, that would align with my view. Keep in mind, if you're following the content and you're following what I've said, my primary view is that Bitcoin's going to top much earlier than people think in the first half of this year, by July, which means your altcoins would top somewhere around August. However, I am very open to the idea that this will take a little bit longer, especially with what I've been learning about liquidity cycles and interest rate cycles. And so if we don't top until the end of this year or the early part of 2025, it would align with what happened in the past from several years back, right? So and keep in mind, actually, if we have longer runway for liftoff for our altcoins, in theory, it should lend itself to a higher probability that we'll see higher price targets. So all things to keep in mind. Now, wanted to quick flip to the Bitcoin pairing here. Now, I don't even know if this price data is accurate, but there's a point in what I'm trying to show you here before we get into the real chart that I want to show you. This is a monthly view on the Digibyte BTC relativity value. And this is what is known, this pattern here that's drawn, this is a broadening wedge. A broadening wedge is a bullish pattern that has a technical target as shown, okay? So the technical target for this broadening wedge, struggling with trading view, is all the way up here. The thing that I want to point out is when we're looking at a pattern like this, we have to exercise what's called common sense. Even though this is a valid pattern, the probabilities of this panning out are near zero. Digibyte is not going to appreciate against Bitcoin by this amount of value. It's not even worth for me to compute to you what the USD value would be for Digibyte because it's unrealistic. The point is, if you're following anyone who does TA like this and can't exercise common sense to actually calculate what the value of Digibyte would be and then ask themselves, is it reasonable? Probably best to unfollow them, because I can tell you this would more than likely make Digibyte more than the value of Bitcoin, which makes no sense. Okay, that's not happening, guys. We need to live in the realm of reality. Now, this is reality. So this is Digibyte on a weekly view, and there's a few things I'm noticing here. Now, Digibyte needs to show me something here, right? The first thing that I'm seeing in the chart is there's clear descending relativity against Bitcoin. So Digibyte over time has been losing value relative to Bitcoin. This is not what you want to see in your project, guys. That's just being honest and calling a spade a spade. You want to see, this is Digibyte divided by Bitcoin. You want to, just like in your USD chart, this is what you want to see. You want to see your asset appreciating against Bitcoin and not the other way around. So until this chart flips around, overall macro perspective, this is a bearish chart. But on the smaller time frame and what we can expect to occur within the next 6 to 12 months, let's take a look at that. So what I am noticing here is that price action, let's focus on price. Price is in a falling wedge here, okay, falling wedge. And as price has been going down, I've noticed that the relative strength index has been increasing. It's called a bullish divergence on the RSI. Also, the MACD is starting to get closer and closer to a positive cross. So it is very possible, and notice that we're pressed up against the descending line on the top here, but it is possible, even if we see a little retrace here, that we could start expanding up once altcoin season really kicks into full gear, right? So as that happens, these are the areas of price confluence that we need to really start to evaluate. And depending when we start to come up here, it wouldn't surprise me one bit that all of this price confluence coincides with the descending resistance. Please note, guys, especially when you go to a lot of the OG coins, whether you're talking about Litecoin, you're talking about XRP, you're talking about Bitcoin Cash, you're talking about any of these OG coins, they have XLM. They have these descending areas of resistance against Bitcoin, okay? Meaning over time, there's been lower highs created within the rate of appreciation, the price strength and the price relativity relative to Bitcoin, right? So in order for Digibyte to express true strength in the price, we need to break this descending resistance. Until then, I'm using it as an area of price confluence like I would on any chart to say it's an area of resistance and it's got to show me something. So depending upon the breakout and where we see it, okay, this is really where you're going to want to target your main resistance zone, okay? But you can still see, just to paint an accurate picture here from current prices, depending where we could potentially top out, Digibyte could appreciate 500 to 600% relative to Bitcoin. So even if Bitcoin doubled in price, what this chart is saying is at the very least, if we get up here we could see expansion by 500 to 600% over current prices, okay? If you appreciated the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and drop me a comment. Make sure you click that bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday for All in the Charts. And I've just started a brand new live stream called Beyond the Charts, combining fundamentals and technical analysis. And every now and then I go live for the CBG podcast, which is anything and everywhere in between. So until next time, everybody, let's all spread awareness, Digibyte community, and let's carry the education forward.
So what you gonna do, fiat dollar, on CryptoBULLGod and his crypto maniacs and the entire cryptocurrency market run wild on you?